This is an episode where Quick and Jamie honestly gets a real mirror in their faces and they're forced to actually do something about it. Y'all ready to talk about it? Cue the music! Oh yes, bitches and hoes, I'm back!
I'll drop a player like it's nothing, it ain't working out. Now no debate or fuck discussion, bitch, I'm walking out. My time is money, I ain't loving, let you toss it out. Flip my weave and walk it out, look how I just bossed it out. Now come on baby, why you bugging, we can't talk it out. I keeps it moving, I ain't tripping, lost another spouse. I'm just a boss, it's in my blood, no I won't scream or shout. Grabbing my keys.
Cause oh yes, bitches and hoes, I'm back. Back with another video, and we're here to discuss Love and Marriage DC Season 1 episode, I think it's 6. I know I missed last week. Honestly, this season, this show's not really giving what I thought it was going to give. But I'm going to just go ahead on and try to finish it out. This ain't going to be long. So the episode opens up, Quick and Ashley go see a doctor for his wrist. And basically the doctor was like, look, Fat, your wrist is swelling up. We don't see nothing breaking, but what's happening is with you DJing, it's really messing with your wrist. And you're going to potentially break it. Now, Quick is losing his mind because that's how he makes his money. That's all he knows. He feels like if he can't DJ, then he ain't going to be able to make the money. But my thing is, don't you have a bunch of other business ventures? I get it if that's your passion, but let's not make it seem like DJing is your only way of making money. If it isn't, I'm sorry. But I think that what it is that gets him away. Quick likes working and he likes providing, but he likes being away. So basically the lady was like, look, you're going to have to wrap it up and kind of like stay off of it for a month. This sends Quick into another convulsion because he's like, a month, that's a long time. The lady said, look, you want the damn wrist or not? Well, pick one. You want to wrap it up and sit down, or you want to not wrap it up and then be walking around like this for the rest of your life? Sit your behind down. And Ashley was like, I'm tired of telling this dude this. He don't listen to me. He don't want to listen to nothing I say. It's really getting tiring. And you know what, Ashley? I'm getting tired of seeing you do it. That's just what I feel. But basically, Ashley was like, it's time for you to practice what you preach and just go lay down. Go lay, Quick. Go lay. We move to the next scene. It's Irena and Brittany. They sitting down and they having a toast and talking about Jamie coming over there prior. So Irena's over there telling Brittany that basically Jamie is trying to make her seem like the bad guy and tell her about the meeting that happened at the property and how he yelled at her and she just couldn't take it no more. And Brittany was like, it's funny. He came over here and I had the same conversation with him. He don't really understand how he really be doing us. Like how he be talking to us and handling us. He could be very, very mean. She was like, but he was telling me stuff about you as if I'm a reprimand you. Like as if you the child and I'm the mama. And Irena was like, see what I'm saying? That's what he does. That's exactly what he does. But Brittany gets into her confessional and says, basically, my dad wants everybody to do what he says and basically wants everybody to conform to him. It's not us that needs to change, it's him. Everybody's not going to do what you want them to do. Because she even brought up the dinner with Jason and how Jason basically stood up out of all of them, the one with the disability. And I'm only doing that because he is disabled, but he seems the strongest to me. But the one with the disability was the one to say, no, I don't want to do this. And stood on all 10. Shout out to Jason for that. But basically, Brittany is telling her mama, like, look, y'all been together 26 years in marriage. I get it. But this is the type of environment basically you fostered. And that's just my words. That wasn't even hers. But she was like, girl, he ain't going to change. He going to go right back to the way he was. We move to the next scene. Ashley and Quick prepare for their dinner with Monique and Chris. Now, Monique and Chris only eat vegan. So they had to take out for the vegan part. I want to say they took out for all of that stuff because Ashley don't give me a chef in the kitchen. But they preparing for all of this stuff. And then Monique and them finally arrives. They go take all the food and they go sit down at the table. So they couldn't even eat the food and get a good chew in before Monique decides to bring up the fact that she felt so bad about having that issue at Ashley's event last week. And, she felt like apologies should be thrown both ways because, both were wrong. And maybe she just had the information wrong when she sent it back or brought it back to Ashley, but that wasn't her intention. And then Ashley and Quick get into the doggone confessional and was like, I thought we was really here to have a dinner with them, but here we go talking about the Winter stuff. And then Monique brings up the fact that Winter said that she had the rumors about Quick. Quick is ignoring everybody, but when he finally came to, Quick was like, look, girl, we've been in this business and in this lifestyle for a long time. We already know that's a possibility of that type of stuff happening. We basically just don't really care for it. But Monique is standing on, but it wasn't really like that. I just wanted to make sure everything was good. Ashley's whole thing is, if she really felt like everything was so bad and we ambushed her, why didn't she tell us but tell you? None of it makes sense. Chris is over there telling them don't put too much life into this. This is not even that deep. Quick was just like, you right, it ain't that deep. But Monique was like, I don't want them to think I was being messy, because I wasn't. I really was just trying to, you know, bring back the information without being messy. But Ashley get into her confessional and was like, yeah, you was being messy. So yeah, you just trying to make it seem like you wasn't being messy, but you really was at the end of the day. So it's just like, Monique, why do you care? You was already messy. But she wants to invite Ashley and Winter to a dinner or a lunch or something so they can talk about it. And for the life of me, I don't understand why. Why? Them girls don't have to be friends. Winter doesn't seem like the friendliest person on the face of this earth, or the most, she don't seem like she adapts to many different environments. It's fine if they're not friends. As long as they could be cordial, girl, I wouldn't even be worried about it. But anyway, Ashley agrees to go. But for what, I don't know, because you don't really even like the girl for real. But this prompts Monique to bring up the fact that she has this, I think it's an intuitive healer, and basically it's kind of like a psychic-ish, not really a psychic, but basically she can look at you and tell you what's wrong, all the traumas and old stuff you've been holding on to since you were a child, and she says she's got to go see her. Now, Quick was like, oh, I'm interested in that. I need to go see her. And Ashley was just like, yeah, you know, that sounds really cute. And then Monique was like, yeah, she do the touching and the feeling, and Quick was getting the bug eyes, and she was like, it ain't like that, but you know, it was a little cute key. So now she's going to invite everybody out to go see the intuitive healer. I'm interested to see what the hell this is. I ain't never heard of it. You know, when you got money, you can find people to do everything. I ain't never heard nothing like this. We move to the next scene. Winter is at home, and she said she got 4 kids from her ex-husband, the one I guess that was in the on the football team in the NFL. So she's at home packing, and her 2 oldest children come in there. It's her son and her daughter. The daughter is 20. I can't remember their names. And I want to say the son is in his like 16-ish, you know, time frame or whatever the case may be. So she's like letting them know that she's going out of town. And it was like, oh, is you taking us? And she said, you know, I'll never take y'all nowhere. No, I'm not taking y'all. So that prompts the daughter, who's 20, to say, well, child, where is you going? And she said, well, I'm going somewhere for 5 days. Don't worry about it. Your daddy gonna fly in town and make sure everything is good. But I'm like, the girl is 20. She don't need her daddy to fly in town. But nevertheless, I didn't see her how young the last 2 was. But she talks to them and says, basically, look, child, I done pressed the button and sent, what's his name, Kevin, the divorce papers. I'm ready for him to sign so we can get this past us. You know, I apologize. And the daughter was sitting at the door clapping, but a silent clap, you know. And then this makes Winter say, well, you clapping, girl. What's wrong? Like, what you want to say? Say what's on your mind. Like, what's tea? So the daughter was like, girl, look, Stevie Wonder could see he was manipulating you, child. He basically was buying you things, clouding you in your judgment so that you won't know who he really is, trying to basically love bomb you so you don't understand that he's basically taking advantage. And you fell for the trap, fat. But she did go on to say that it ain't your fault because you was being manipulated. Now, this makes Winter get in her confession and say, it feels good to know that my children don't blame me for not knowing this man before walking down the aisle. And let me tell you something, your children ain't gonna blame me, but I will. You should have got to know that man and not taking all his money and his gifts that he was using his mom and daddy credit card to buy, and then take that and say, I'm gonna walk down the aisle and meet him at the altar in your white dress. It's on you. Your children ain't gonna blame you because that's your children. They love you. They don't want to see you hurt. But I'm blaming you. Next time, please be mindful of the man you marry and bring in front your children, because that's not how this goes. Know the man you marry next time. I don't care what he buy you. Know the man you marry. Turns out he a whole scammer. He probably was using somebody else's credit card that he done scammed. So your children ain't gonna blame you, but I'm gonna blame you. But anyway, it makes her feel good that the children ain't blaming her. Child, please. But anyway, the daughter don't want her to beat herself up about it, and I want to beat her up about it because it just don't make no sense. But she says that she has a righteous anger because this man done swooped in and came into her life and caused all this confusion. No, heifer, you fished for him. He was a fish swimming along, and you cashed your ride, and you reeled him in. Say what I said. Let's move to the next scene. So we move to the next scene. Monique is meeting with Ashley and Winter. This is just tired and through. So when Ashley get there, Ashley was like, I really don't want to be here. Why am I here? And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Ashley, why would you even go? And then Winter pulls up and was like, she's over there sitting with the ops already, so I already know there's going to be some BS. I'm like, you heifers don't even want to be here. So anyway, Monique sits down and says, look, girl, maybe what I said and how I brought it back was brought back wrong. But on the flip side, Winter, you are a bad storyteller because the way you were sending it to me was the way I portrayed it and replayed it or whatever the word may be. And I agree 1,000%. Winter was being very petty and messy when she went back to Monique and was like, she want to talk about me and Kevin and all this stuff, but I know rumors about her. You was being messy. Don't make it seem like that wasn't what it was. But Winter's whole thing was that wasn't what it was, obviously. She was like, I was just saying in reference to her saying that she knows stuff about me, I was saying I also know stuff about her. Girl, you heifers is tired and through. Y'all too old for this, but, you know, I really don't understand. But she feels like she wasn't being malicious. Yes, she was. But Monique goes in there and said, well, maybe it was a miscommunication, you know. And she said, you know, I was talking to you as a friend. Maybe I shouldn't have did that. Well, don't, because you knew it was going to get back. Anyway, Monique felt like she was just trying to help. But Monique says next time she won't even jump in and try to help. Thank you, Monique, because we tired of this too. Basically, Ashley asks Winter, and look, if you got any issues, say it now. Let's get it out on the table so we can be done with this. Winter was like, I never had any issues with you. It was nothing like that. Like, what's the big deal? Da, 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 da. And so Ashley was like, fine. Kudos. Them heifers do a toast that don't mean nothing because they still don't like each other. And we move to the next scene. The next scene, Monique and Chris arrived to the intuitive healer and they let the lady know, her name Terry, that they got two other couples coming. So the other couples get them. And they go sit down in this, like, I don't know if it's like a cave or whatever, but they sitting on sea salt and Himalayan salt and all that stuff. And I don't know if that's supposed to help you heal, but let's get into it. So Terry said basically what she does is she helps people put the pieces together that they can't let go. All your past hood trauma, ills, wills, and all that stuff. She's there to help you let that go, release it, so that you can move on with your life. So Jamie basically says that he never did really believe in all of this stuff. Like, all of this stuff is fake. He feel like she find out about people before they get there and speak on it or whatever the case may be, but he gonna give it a try. Irena says she nervous, and I'm just like, girl, sit down on this Himalayan salt and let the lady do what she gotta do. So the lady scams the room. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about Kevin. The lady scans the room, and she gets this energy. You know, it's a big, big energy from Jamie. So then she said, you don't want to appear weak. You feel like you're a pit bull, but you just pushing people away because you don't want people to see that vulnerable side, you being weak or whatever the case may be. And then she says, you don't say anything to create a more intimate space. And she was like, you don't have to say I'm on it because I know I'm on it. Now, Terry is a very confident woman. When she said what she said, she said what she said. Irena basically said she's spot on, and all of the family is experiencing it the same way. Terry lets Jamie know that it's not that you're weak. It's just whatever happened in your childhood, she's getting a very, like, bulldog type of feel from you. And it's aggressive. And the energy she's got is this person that's very aggressive, leaning over somebody. So basically, he's over there causing havoc and telling everybody what to do around the house because he has a lot of insecurities. Maybe his insecurity was his success. I don't know. Which is why he pushes his kids the way he do. That's me giving me my 2 cents and giving y'all my 2 cents. But that's what I get. Jamie was like, you know what? She right. But I still feel like it's fake, but she right. I do have to, you know, stop that. But at the end of the day, Jamie ain't going to stop nothing. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. She moves over to Quick and says she feels tears of fear. And that there's a bunch of nines, a nine ball. And I'm thinking, pool, okay, she said 3rd grade. What happened in 3rd grade? This is what we find out. Quick found out that his mom was dying of cancer in the 3rd grade. He's stunned. Because he was like, nobody ever knew anything about that. And how would this lady know? But Quick basically says that she has said multiple nines. No, I'm sorry. So Terry goes on to say, I'm seeing multiple nines. What's going on with these multiple nines? Now, this freaks him out because he was like, not only did I find out about my mom at 9, my dad died in 1999. That's the multiple nines. So now he's really like, oh my God, this is real, this is real. So Quick lets us know that she had him at that moment. She started hollering about the nines. But he says he started DJing right after his mama died at 10 because he needed to kind of get his mind off of it. And he's really basically afraid of good news. So whenever people tell him good news, he's always immediately looking for the bad because he already is used to having the bad things happen. But basically, he says he worked because he don't want to think about stuff, and he wanted his dad to see everything that he pushed him for. Because basically, everybody used to say his dad pushed his boys too much, and basically, he was a bad dad. But he did everything and excelled, and he wanted his dad to be there to see him, basically. That's the only thing he regret. He wish he had. Chris feels like your dad do see you, and that's if you believe in that the dead is walking the earth, I guess. But he says your dad do see you. But he says, basically, everybody used to kind of go in on his daddy, but his daddy did a good job with him. Terry basically said that Ashley is trying to pull it out of Quick, but Quick don't let her do it. And then Quick was like, yeah, because she always trying to make me cry. And she was like, that ain't it. I just be wanting you to, be vulnerable and say what it is. That means she wants you to cry. She goes over to Chris and tell Chris don't move, Terry that is, goes over to Chris and tell Chris don't live through Monique. Basically, you trying to live vicariously everything through this woman. You got to find your own passion, Stat. You can't keep running behind this girl. You need to find what makes you happy. And then Chris gets in his confessional and was like, you know what, she's right. Maybe that means I should go to coaching. That prompts Monique to say that's not what she means. She not mean in reference to like our careers. She just mean you got to look deeper and find your own thing and your own passion. Well, you know what, Monique? If coaching is his passion, let him go ahead on and do it. But basically, Terry lets them know that she wants them to talk about it when they get home. Then she goes over to Arena and says she's got a vision of her putting peanut butter on her bread, but it's too perfect. Everything is super, super perfect. And she was like, everything has to be perfect to the point where you got to hide something. That prompts Irena to go into tears. Jamie's over there looking at her like, Heifer, why is you crying in front of these people? So he nudged her. The lady stooped down over Jamie and was like, why would you do that? You give me the vibes of a young boy who's over there telling people to stop that, stop that. If she's sitting in this moment and she wants to cry, let her cry. You can't stop her from crying because, see, that's that perfection y'all want to give off. This prompts Irena to say, you know what, you're right, because even with my makeup and my appearance, the lady said, oh, I see, because maybe you was dripped and draped and the lady saw that or whatever. But she said, my mama always tell me I'm always got to put makeup on when I don't need it, with my clothes, with my shoes, with my family, with my business, with my marriage. Everything got to be perfect. And basically, that's something that I have to work on. But the lady tells Jamie, you got to calm down now. Let that girl cry. And then Irena says in her confessional, look, I don't want Jamie to tap me. I want him to ask me what's wrong when I'm crying. See, this is why I don't be crying. And you know what? I don't blame you, but you did cry on the other side when they was talking about the place, when y'all was down there at the rental property. But she feels like he don't allow her to cry and get into her emotions. But Terry wants them to talk about that too when they get home. Quick and the brothers on the last scene go down to the gravesite. They want to go see their daddy. They goes down there to see their daddy. And basically, he sees his brothers, and the first thing I thought was all three of them is short. All three of them. All of them short. Don't none of them look over 5'4". And I was like, oh, y'all must really take after y'all daddy. So he gets out there, and he said Terry basically had him thinking about what's important, and basically family's what's important. But he never talked about how his dad's passing made him feel, but he wants to go out there with his brothers, and talk about it. So they crowd around the grave. He pulls out this note. And basically, this note is from his mama that she wrote to them, I guess, when she found out she was dying. He had never He had never read it out loud in front of anybody. He only read it once before with his wife, right? So he reads this note. And basically, in the note, the mom is saying, like, look, I'm letting y'all, as you know, I'm dying. She not letting them know, but she was like, you know I'm dying, and I want you to take care of your brothers and take care of your dad. So this makes Quick say he's always had to take care of people since he was 10. And as a 10-year-old boy, that's a lot to put on him, but he actually did it. He took care of his brothers, and he took care of his father. That's why he works, because he want to take care of the people that he has now, which is his family. So the brothers and all, they all get around him. Quick kind of cry. He said he hates crying because he never likes to cry. But Quick, at the end of the day, like your brother said, if you don't cry, it's going to all sit inside you like a volcano, and at some point it's going to erupt. So now Quick says he got to make a better way of spending time with his brothers, actually getting with them. He said he knows, well, he lets them know that his family is his first priority. He needs to carve out time for them as well. But maybe if he get them to come down to the club or something, any kind of way, he needs him and his brothers to get back where they was. And that's where the episode ended. The season is kind of giving me a C+, C-, mid-grade. It's alright. Drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode, and I will see you hoes later. Bye.